Okay, I'm going to show you a reflection. A reflection is when you flip a figure over a line. Okay, so you're going to be given a certain line and be told to make a reflection over it. So what you're going to do is you're going to use that line and count perpendicularly to it. And the best way really to explain this is to just do a couple examples. So I'm going to do one where we're reflecting over a vertical line, and then I'll do one where we reflect over a horizontal line. You can reflect over other lines, but these are the basic ones that we should start with. So my first example here says, reflect the figure over the y-axis. So when I read my directions, I always want to pinpoint a couple words that are telling me what to do. In this case, it will be the type of transformation as a reflection or a flip, and I'm going to be doing it over the y-axis. So again, I can do this with tracing paper, but I do not normally do it with tracing paper, but I just want to show you what it would look like. So I'm going to trace the figure. I need a pencil. Here's pencil. Okay. So I'm going to trace the figure that I want to reflect. And I'm also going to trace the line I'm going to reflect over. So the y-axis is your vertical axis, the up and down axis. Now, so I know where to line it back up, I'm also going to make a mark at where the x-axis is. So when I reflect, it's a flip. So I'm going to turn it over, my whole paper over, line up my y-axis and my x-axis, the mark there, and there's my reflection. Okay? Now, again, I don't normally use tracing paper for this, but I just wanted you to see what it would look like. So what I'm picturing is like literally folding my whole paper. Okay? So if I fold this whole paper right there at the y-axis, if this was wet paint here on the pre-image, and I just splatted that over to the other side, I have to picture where it would go, and it would go over here. Okay? So once I picture that, I'm going to go ahead and just count. If this is my, line of reflection, it's always a good idea to kind of highlight that somehow. Sometimes I take a highlighter or a marker and just make sure it's very clear that I've read my directions. It's really probably the most common mistake is going over the wrong axes. So I'm going to take each point. I'm going to do one point at a time. There's 4 points. Once I have those 4 points reflected, I can connect them to create my figure. Okay, so I'm going to start with A. I'm going to count away from the line of reflection, the line I'm folding over, and I'm going to count in a perpendicular movement, which would be horizontally. So 1, 2. A is 2 points away. It's on the right side. When I reflect, it will land on the left, and it will be equidistant. So 1, 2. It's going to still be 2 points away, but on the other side. Remember, after we do our reflection, we put an apostrophe. Okay, so that's the pre-image and that's the image. That's where it finishes. Now I'm going to do point B. So I'm 1, 2, 3 points away from my line of reflection. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 points away on the other side. I'm going to put an apostrophe when I finish my reflection. Okay, C, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points away from the y-axis. So on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was point C. I'm going to put an apostrophe. And then point D. Okay, again, I'm counting horizontally because I'm going over a vertical line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from the y-axis. So when I reflect, it will land 5 away on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I use an apostrophe for my image. Okay, so now I'm just going to connect those. And I have my image. So this is my reflection. Everything's backwards but on the other side. Equidistant on the other side of the y-axis. Okay, so now I'm going to show you an example of when you would do it in the horizontal direction. So say I'm reflecting this in a horizontal direction. So my example for you is going to be over the x-axis. But really, you can do it over any horizontal line. I lost my pizza tape. Let's do another one. Here we go. Okay. So this time I'm going to, as I read the directions, I see this is my keyword here. I'm doing a reflection or flip. And this time I'm doing it over the x-axis, which is a horizontal line. So I'm picturing, all right, here's my x-axis. Very important to read my directions well and know which way I'm going. So I'm going to go over that x-axis. Now I'm going to picture if this was wet paint and I just kind of flipped it over and folded, okay, where would it land? This time it's going to land down here. So my horizontal line, when I'm counting, now I'm going to count vertically. And I want to be the same distance on the other side of the x-axis. So the A will go down here to the bottom. It is 1 away from my x-axis, the line that I'm reflecting over. So I go 1 away on the other side. Okay, point D. Point D is 2 away, so it's going to go 2 away on the other side. Point B, I'm counting vertically because I'm reflecting over a horizontal line. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I go on the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go ahead and connect my dots. And I have reflected this quadrilateral over the x-axis. Okay, make sure you pay close attention to what you are reflecting over.